there comes a time when the camera hits record and you kind of go, what am I going to talk about? I know Brad can really relate to that this week. And that's what we're going to address because it is very common that when it's time to record some content, a lot of people are asking, what should I say now? So this week on Harvesting Growth, we're going to go ahead and tackle some ideas and some timing that will hopefully help you plan your next set of content. So whether it be video, whether it be your blogs, whether it be your social media, you'll see a common thread that you're able to pull all the way through. Hi, Brad. How are you doing this week?
Doing great, Laura. Always nice to see you.
Same. And I know that you'll be excited about this too, because putting a plan together for content on your social media or on your video is important to all of us. So what we're going to break down is, I know we've been talking a lot about having authentic content. We've also talked a lot about going through your website, looking and reviewing your digital footprint to make sure it's up to date, that there is stories about what you have, your services, your offerings, and so that your growers can relate to those stories, how those solutions will solve their problems, and then therefore they will trust you and reach out to you. And when we get that question of, okay, you made the recommendation for us to take some time to video, the big question is, where do I start? What are some good ideas? So what we're going to go ahead and talk about is, you don't have to record every day. If it's easiest for you to grab your phone, record while you're in the service bay, out in the field, with the planter, with the tractor, with whatever implement might be, that is fantastic. But if you're the type of person that really wants to plan ahead, we've got a lot of planning going on, especially with third quarter rolling around right now. If you want to plan ahead, take maybe one day to crank out a bunch of videos. Now, what we're going to talk about is thinking about what topics those videos should be. Brad, have you ever done any batch videoing yourself?
I have. Yeah, I think it's a great idea because, like you were saying, sometimes it's like, how do you squeeze it in, or where do you shoot it at, or whatever the case may be. So sometimes, even if you have two shirts or something with you, change it up, or two hats, or change it up a little bit, but do some batching where even if they're short form, you're only talking for a couple of minutes, make a stack of them.
Absolutely. And you're right, you can change it out, or a lot of dealerships have their uniforms, so it doesn't really matter if they're videotaping
The
on Monday,
same.
Tuesday, or Wednesday. They're going to be wearing basically the exact same thing. I know we
Yeah.
have our set shirts that we like to wear here at Agtivation. But when we're looking at the weeks of a month, kind of think of what those topics might be. And different people might think of pillars. And even with activation, we have three pillars that we want to bring that thread through when it comes to any of our recordings, any of our videos. And so our pillars are the how. We want to look at different tools, different things that would help small business owners, precision ag dealerships, how those tools would help them with whatever their needs are for the marketing of their business. And the second one would be the ROI, or the strategy, is our second pillar that we like to look at. And the third is what's next. So the industry shift. We do tend to leave that fourth pillar to be what is the most like the hot topic of the month. So we're a little bit flexible when that extra month rolls, or the extra week of the month rolls around. So, but we want to focus on those three pillars with our business. So think about, if you have certain departments or services, it might be that 1 week of your month you're working on planters. The second one might be on hay equipment. The third one might be on harvest equipment. You might be saying, no, we want to work on our department. So it'll be the agronomy, or the consulting, or the scouting, or some of the latest in weed technology. You could kind of break it down based on your business. And those topics then seem to come much, much easier if you think, okay, if we go back to planters, can we break down maintenance? Can we break down checklists? Can we break down wear parts, spare parts? So from there, your tree grows, and it makes it very nice, because again, if you start asking your team, your staff, your technicians to bring in their ideas. Wow, does that grow? So taking one day a month to kind of looking at the different weeks, deciding what your pillars are, you're able to just kind of grow it. And then the conversations come very easily. Would you agree, Brad?
Yeah, I think that's hugely important that you plan it out. And I also like the point that you made about, talking to your staff and your team, because then the ideas really flourish because it's not just one person trying to think through it, it's the whole team.
Absolutely. And they can collect questions or offer up suggestions on the how to videos if that's very important for you to be building a library, expanding your YouTube channel on how to videos. That's amazing to put those videos out, break it down. Again, it may be a longer video, and then you're able to create shorts from it. So as you're walking around that planter talking about maintenance or checkpoints, then think those can individually be published as content. And you might say, well, that helps me with the YouTube, but what about social media? Then you're going to able to go ahead and use those shorts as reels. You're able to put text to each of them, or maybe even a graphic, an image from those. Drop that in as your social media. So next thing you know, your social media starts growing. And those are assets that you can use to update your website. Again, as we talked about, it makes it authentic. You are talking about why you're the expert, why your team's the expert, and how it can really help the growers in your area. So I like how those all start flowing together.
Yeah, I mean, I really like how it flows together and the way you talked about how the content can overlap. You may be using a video short on Instagram, you could also put that on YouTube Shorts. You could also literally put it, once you have those uploaded, for example, if it's on YouTube, you could then put it on your blog. Another little secret or little trick that I've used in the past is it's called video to blog. So it is a software. It's not that expensive. I think you and I have both used it to where if you
Yes.
create video content, more so long form video, you can then upload that video to the software, and the AI piece of it will then turn that into a blog post. You feed it the parameters that you want. It can take screenshots out of the video. You can make it longer or shorter or certain keywords. And so again, what you're saying of utilizing pieces of content in multiple places, the options are really endless.
Absolutely. I'm glad that you mentioned that software because it is something, and we have no affiliation with it, but we have experience with it. So if you want to try it out, go ahead and we'll link it in the comments below or in the description so that you can go ahead and explore. I think that's important. But the thread here is just that is that if once you have a plan, it doesn't seem so daunting every day to say, oh, I need to record something. One, you know that you have some batches already recorded. That's the first thing. The second is that now YouTube isn't guessing what the heck you're the expert in. It sees that your message is consistent and it gains traction. And therefore, when people are looking for ag equipment dealerships or the experts in precision agriculture, they are going to find your dealership, your channel, your website, because you've taken the time to put those educational pieces out there. So it's trust building. It really does build that trust, especially when you become consistent. It shows them that it's got content that reaches more and more of the audience. So when growers are using YouTube as their search agent, they're going out there searching and learning for it. AI is getting more and more involved with positioning YouTube. As we've mentioned in the past, you can see videos are brought to the top as being cited. And 100% your information is useful. So once you have these pillars defined, you can basically just check the boxes off saying, great, we've got that covered. Next, we've got this one covered. So if you say we have a planter in our bay today and we're going to go through it, that might be one day that you're recording, but you're able to break those out and use those over the next few weeks, the next few months, depending on how much you record it. Then when you're out in the field, you can go ahead and use that. That's another visual that you're out in the field, helping farmers, helping growers, solving their problems with solutions that you provide. Again, fabulous way to get those recordings uploaded and then broken into shorts used throughout.
That's right. One thing that I could recommend when it comes to using video, creating video for your online stuff is get some sort of a gimbal that braces your phone if you're using your phone, because people don't really want to watch a bouncy video. You know, if your camera that you're holding in your hand is choppy or bouncing around, people are not going to watch that. But if you get an inexpensive, it's a holder essentially to hold your video, your camera, your phone while you're filming, it makes all the difference in the world. And if there's any way you could even use an earbud or something, like literally right now on this episode, I'm using an earbud instead of a pro microphone. So literally good audio and stability in the video quality makes all the difference in the world.
I'm so glad you brought that also to the listeners and our viewers' attention. And I do have my gimbal, and you're exactly right. Just that balance to keep it from moving around helps tremendously when you're recording videos. And to your point, professional mics do help. Now, you don't have to spend a lot of money. They can come in very reasonable. Of course, you can check them out on Amazon starting at about $59 and up. Yes, so
Just
you've
little
got this.
earbuds. Yeah,
Yes, it makes it so, so simple. If you're outside, we will recommend to have what they call the dead cat. So basically the puff ball that goes over on your recording device because it helps with the wind. Because that's the one thing that we have noticed is that we're excited to see our dealers out there recording. But if you get a lot of wind, it is distracting. It is very, very distracting.
it is.
So, so anyway, we'll add a few links in the description as well. Again, we're not affiliated with any of them. And when you do the search, you'll definitely find which ones are great options and different price points. So make that selection so those two things come together. But I would say just go to any kind of calendar, whether it be a traditional print calendar or pull up a calendar that you and your team can kind of start planning for third quarter here. Look at the weeks in July, decide what your pillars will be, decide how you want that thread of you being the expert pulled through. And those little things will help your growers and it'll help you stand out. And you're going to show up as the expert you are. Your knowledge is so valuable. And we're just encouraging you to take that, look at your pillars, and pull it through. And your content will be recorded and done in no time. Do you have any other pointers, Brad, before we wrap up today?
No, I think you covered it. You know, it's a simple process, but like you mentioned, plan ahead, you know, map it out on the calendar, do it in batches, do it as clean and professional as you can so that people will enjoy watching it. Yeah, you nailed it.
Good. And as you're there, you're recording, think of your filter, meaning that your branding filter, talk the talk, showcase what value you bring, and using just that filter you'll find out that your topics stay on point and you won't have to worry about content because you can always rely on those questions that your growers are asking you, and that is the first place we'll say to start. So share your stories online and continue to shine. I'm Laura with Harvesting Growth, and we're glad that you get a chance to get out and play in the soil. Thank you.